Greetings nerdy list aficionados and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Today we're back in the realm of superpowers, looking at some that certain fans would deem lackluster. Our subject today is Jubilee, the member of the X-Men known by most for her firework powers, which while over the years have received some major upgrades, still tend to get a chuckle out of some. Of course, as always when we do these, we have our caveat that any power can be cool if handled correctly. And as always, like who and what you like, and most importantly, have fun. I'm Sasha and these are the top 10 dumbest superpowers Jubilee has/had. Oh yes, I said had. Number 10, vampirism. There was a time in comics, actually a decent chunk of time, and it was recent too, where Jubilee was a vampire. She was bitten by Zarus, son of Dracula, and that transformed her into a full-fledged creature of the night. And we're talking with all the powers that entails. So of course the superhuman speed and strength, classic traits like turning into vapor. But we're dealing with some cop-out weaknesses. For example, she has a medallion of Zarus that allows her to walk in the daylight. No, it needs to be a trade-off. You get all these cool abilities, but you lose something as well. If you're chilling off animal blood or at the blood bank and walking around during the day, it really feels far less creature of the damned. Then it's more like you have a character who, yes, is a vampire, but doesn't have all that angsty pathos that comes with it. Quentin Quire would cure Jubilee later on with a shard of the Phoenix Force that also restored her mutant powers, which Jubilee had lost. Number 9, gymnast/inline skater. Now are those powers? No, they're innate abilities. She trained to be able to do these things, but they've actually been largely forgotten. Jubilee being a gymnast was at one point a huge part of her backstory, but over the years it has faded a bit. The inline skating in particular was used as a way to make her hip and cool with the youth. Greetings fellow kids. This was because her function was largely to be relatable. In that fashion she was often lumped into sidekick territory, even with her power set. For example, she was fused with Robin in the Amalgam universe to create Sparrow, and she would also fall head over heels for Robin Tim Drake in their Versus series. Hip and relatable, let's go to the mall. Number 8, stroke powers. Now Jubilee can do much more with her powers than just put on a fancy light show, even though she was doing that at the mall early on the start when she first meets the X-Men. No, apparently Jubilee can also cause you to have a stroke by detonating a precision spark of plasmoids in your brain. This can then simulate the effects of a stroke. Firstly, absolutely terrifying. Secondly, how exactly? This is kind of tied to Jubilee's power expansion as the years have gone on. Jubilee has been rendered more and more powerful, almost as a direct take that to people who claim she is a useless member of the team. Number 7, energy absorption. So Jubilee can absorb the energy she exerts back into herself. Why is this on here? Well, it's cause it's very much a no-brainer kind of course. Her own energy wouldn't hurt her. That would be very awful and sad, like being allergic to water. It's really only worth noting if she can absorb other people's energy. Then that's a whole kinetic energy trade-off. Number 6, Abscissa. So here we're dealing with an alternate timeline on Earth 92352. In this world, Jubilee was captured by Mojo and brought to the Big Crunch, which was to be the collapse of the universe, which would then be followed by another Big Bang. She was a slave to Mojo in trade for him not disrupting the universe's cycle. Her powers here were a little different. She didn't seem to have her standard plasmoids, and instead could whip the chains on her costume and bind them in loops around other people. She had loops, and it was very BDSM. Is that a power or a skill? Well, I mean, if gymnastics is on here, so can whipping chains. Number 5, Team X, Vertigo. To yet another world in the multiverse we go. This time for a Jubilee who could manifest several light-based daggers. This was putting her abilities in the realm of creating solid constructs she could fight with. She was also wearing a costume that led to her codename Vertigo. She was part of a resistance movement against Majestrix Alana, the daughter of Charles Xavier and Shi'ar leader Lilandra. Here Jubilee could also turn invisible. So here her powers were much more like Dazzler's than her standard power set. It just goes to show that some mutants have powers that can be interpreted a variety of ways. Number 4, X-Men Animated. So the 90s X-Men is largely responsible for the perception of Jubilee as ineffectually shooting fireworks at things, especially Sentinels. Her powers here would regularly just bounce off of people. The Blob even described them as tickling. So she was used more for a distraction than anything. And this is the Jubilee that many flash to when they think of the character. Great show and nothing wrong with Jubilee in it, but definitely not a powerhouse. and that's okay. Your team needs levels. Number 3, Wondra. So Jubilee was one of the mutants who was depowered after M-Day. You know, no more mutants, end of House of M fallout. Jubilee was devastated at the loss of her powers, and would end up replacing them with a suit that gave her, in a way more powers, or at least different powers than she had before. She would join the New Warriors and get a tech suit from Night Thrasher. This suit would give her superhuman strength, 9 vulnerability, and also grant her the ability to fly. So a lot. This was enough to alleviate her depression over the loss of her powers. The thing was, this new set led her down a path where writers were not exactly sure what to do with her, hence how she became a vampire. Number 2, immunity to telepathy. For a time, a brief time, early in her comic history, Jubilee had the natural innate ability to be resistant to telepathy. She has had built-in psionic shields. However, this ability would be abandoned because it would run into the okay, why factor. And also it seemed to slant her to having too many advantages. Powers and immune to telepathy, just cuz? Not something everyone could swallow. She's just special. No, stop it. And finally, in at number 1, subatomic nuclear potential. Let's get controversial here at number 1. Emma Frost has revealed that she believes Jubilee has the most untapped potential of any mutant she has ever encountered. That Jubilee is holding herself back on a subconscious level because she doesn't want to hurt anyone. This is something Jubilee has admitted to, a fear of her powers. For example, after they got out of control and destroyed a house after she thought that Wolverine had died in it. Jubilee apparently could affect matter at a subnuclear level. Now, mileage on this varies. Some love it, all that potential. Take that, she only has fireworks, people. While others feel it's too much. Calm down, it's okay if not every mutant is approaching Omega level. Some feel that the power scales are sliding too far in the powerful direction. What do you think? Let me know down below. I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.